Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of Bite Size Rallying, and this time we're going to look at the Citroen Xsara Road Rally Car, campaigned by Citroen Racing from Versailles from 2001 to 2005, and then campaigned by Kronos Racing in 2006. So, picture the scene. It's 2002, and after two pretty successful seasons with this car, with picking up the odd win here and there, Citroen Racing, to put a full-scale assault on the World Rally Championship in 2003. And it's going to be a three-car team that the racing team from Versailles are going to campaign. Sebastian Loeb, the established Citroen driver, the protégé, has come up through the ranks through the French Junior Rally Championship, very much got the double chevron in his blood and in his heart. He's going to be joined by Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz, two refugees from Ford, who in big book signings Citroen decide that they want these star drivers alongside Loeb to spearhead the campaign in 2003. So the Citroen team turned up in Monaco at the start of the Monte Carlo Rally with a very, very ambitious programme and very, very high hopes, and certainly it was a fantastic event for the team. Sebastian Loeb claimed a victory, perhaps as expected. Tarmac expert, been honed in the French Rally Championship. He knew the roads on the back of his heart, and they were in his backyard. But Colin McRae finished a fantastic second on his debut for Citroen. Now, McRae often admitted that the Monte Carlo was his bogey event. It was the rally he hated the most on the calendar. He'd quite happily not have Monte Carlo on the calendar, and he'd not done particularly well there over the years. But so to pick up second place on his first outing in the new car, it certainly boded well for the season. And Carlos Sainz, his other former teammate with Ford and Subaru, took third place, so it was a double chevron, 1, 2, 3. And indeed, the next round in Sweden, the Citroens finished consistently, and after those two events, McRae and Loeb topped the championship table. And it was, in terms of McRae's season, it didn't really particularly continue in that vein. There was quite a few problems, some accidents, and also some issues with the car. And McRae ended up on the RAC Rally, the Rally GB, driving this car, 21 DDM 92. He took a fairly low-key fourth place, and it was actually Colin's last full campaign in the World Rally Championship, because from the 2004 season, the World Rally Championship teams were only allowed to campaign two cars, and Citroen in 2004 decided to stick with Loeb, understandably, and Carlos Sainz, and Colin got the job. Now, it was quite sad for McRae fans to see that happen, but I don't think you could argue with the results, and there hadn't been any victories. McRae took this car to 8th place in Greece and 4th in Rally GB, and aside from that promise in the Monte, he did struggle to get on with the car. He admitted that he'd been used to the rear world antics, if you like, obviously from the Cosworth Sierra days in early days, but also that rear wheel drive driving style, that sideways driving style, he'd taken with him through the four wheel drive Subarus and the Focus, and he liked to balance the car with the throttle, throw it into corners and get it sideways. And this car, it was set up completely differently, and it didn't lend itself to that spectacular driving. It was much more a point and squirt car, slow in, fast out of the corners, which didn't particularly lend itself to McRae's style, and certainly more so to Sebastian Loeb's. And also, probably another reason why McRae and his co-driver Derek Ringer, who he rejoined, the partnership rejoined in 2003, they didn't really gel with the French team in terms of there was a communication barrier, and therefore, like Richard Burns was struggling at the time with Peugeot, it was quite difficult for an established British driver and co-driver to make the mark in a foreign team, and I think they perhaps overlooked that potential barrier when they signed for Citroen. So, whilst it was Colin McRae's last season in the World Rally Championship, he only made sporadic appearances after the 2003 season, and I was very fortunate myself to go to the Catalonia Rally in 2003 and saw McRae campaign the Xsara to a lowly 9th place. Unfortunately, it's certainly a shadow of his former self driving that car in that event, but it was still great to witness Colin abroad. And however, it would be disingenuous to suggest that the Citroen Xsara World Rally Car programme was all about Colin McRae. Far from it. Certainly very much only a footnote in the history of this fantastic rally car. A rally car that achieved 32 World Championship victories and 3 world titles. The 2003 performance from Sainz, McRae and Loeb netted the constructors and the manufacturer's title, and Citroen repeated that in 2004 and 2005. And also, Sebastian Loeb took 3 world drivers titles in this car, 04, 05, 06. And he was then followed that with another 6 world drivers titles when this car was replaced by another Citroen, the C4. So it's certainly a very, very successful rally car, and certainly, particularly in Sebastian Loeb's hands. Carlos Sainz gained a victory in 2004. I think it was on the Cyprus. No, it was on the Argentine rally. Carlos Sainz took victory, but Sebastian Loeb took 6 wins in 2004. Took in 2005, numerous wins. I've lost count on my chart here, but it took something like 8 or 9 wins in 2005. And 2006, Citroen Racing pulled out of the World Rally Championship for a year. They had a sabbatical because they were going to develop the C4, the car that replaced the Xsara in Citroen's lineup for 2007. But that didn't prevent the Xsara taking winning ways, and campaigned by the Kronos Racing team, which I think was based in Belgium, Loeb took a number of victories and another title in 2006. So if we swap cars, this was the car that Sebastian Loeb took to victory, his first World Championship victory in the Deutschland Rally in 2002, and he actually went on to win numerous Rally Deutschland. I can't remember how many, countless Rally Deutschland, and I was actually lucky enough to be at the 2006 Rally Germany campaign, the Kronos, the blue Kronos car, and saw Loeb take victory on that event. But this was the car number 21, that Loeb took victory on his first World Championship rally, and at that point, little did we know that he'd go on to win 9 World Rally Championships, a record that's not been achieved by anyone else, so Sebastian Ogier perhaps come closest, and numerous World Championship rally wins. So the Citroen Xsara, it's because of perhaps the way Loeb went about his business, very, very efficient, very clinical, didn't particularly endear himself to the crowds like a Colin McRae or an Ari Vatanen or a Hannu Mikkola, etc. But you can't certainly deny with the record, it was the vast majority of the victories in this car were taken by Sebastian Loeb. I think if we Carlos Sainz victory, he's as pure as victory, and I think otherwise probably the rest of the 32 victories, vast majority were taken by Sebastian Loeb. So it's certainly a very, very successful partnership, and a partnership that continued with the C4 afterwards. So Citroen Xsara, a car probably all forgotten. When did we last see a Citroen Xsara on the road? I suspect we can't recall, unless we live in France, of course. So there's still numerous ones around there. But certainly in World Rally Car terms, extremely successful, and heralded the start of Citroen dominating World Championship rallying for a long, long time. So there you have it. Citroen Xsara World Rally Car. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again on the next episode of Bite Size Rallying. Thank you.